The film is set in 1999, during the Sierra Leone Civil War, and depicts a nation torn apart by the conflict between government troops and rebels. The film shows many of the horrible things that happened during that war, like the rebels cutting off people's hands to prevent them from voting in the upcoming elections. The film begins with the Revolutionary United Front, RUF, capturing men fisherman Solomon Vandy, during their invasion of the small Sierra Leonean village of Shinge. Solomon is separated from his family, and is enslaved to work in the diamond fields, under the direction of Captain Poison, while his son Dia is enlisted in the rebel forces. The brainwashing eventually makes Dia a hardened killer. The RUF frequently trade the diamonds directly for arms, to fund their war effort. Solomon finds a rare pink-colored large diamond, while performing forced labor in the RUF diamond fields. Captain Poison spots Solomon hiding the diamond just before the government troops launch an attack. Captain Poison was injured in the attack before he can get the stone. Captain Poison and Solomon are taken to prison in Freetown, Sierra Leone. An RUF commander and Danny Archer, an Anglo ex-mercenary from Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, trade arms for diamonds. After being caught smuggling diamonds into Liberia, he is sentenced to prison, and the diamonds are taken from him. He had been delivering the diamonds to a mercenary from South Africa named Colonel Coetzee, who works for Diamond Company executive Van de Kopp, and his assistant Simmons. Coetzee was Archer's former commander in the 32 Battalion, which was the most decorated unit of the South African Border War, and consisted of soldiers from Angola and Rhodesia, as well as white officers from South Africa. Archer is searching vainly for a means of compensating Colonel Coetzee for the diamonds that were taken from him, when he was detained and imprisoned, alongside the fisherman. He decides to seek the large diamond out after hearing Captain Poison ranting to Solomon while he is behind bars. In exchange for the diamond, Archer offers Solomon assistance in locating his family, and makes arrangements for Solomon's release from prison. They both locate American journalist Matty Bowen, who assists Solomon in locating his family. Soon, Bowen finds out that Archer is using Solomon to find his diamond, and will eventually steal it for himself, leaving Africa forever. Humanist Bowen will not assist Archer, unless he informs her about the diamond market, in order to halt the flow of blood diamonds out of Africa, thereby halting funding for the Civil War, and putting an end to a widespread revolution. Bowen receives the information she seeks from Archer, who also grants her access to the press convoy to search for the diamond in Kono. Archer, Solomon, and Bowen escape an attack on the convoy, and make their way to the South African mercenary force, led by Colonel Coetzee. There, they learn that an attack force is getting ready to retake Sierra Leone, a reference to the fact that the Provisional Government of Sierra Leone hired the South African security firm Executive Outcomes in 1995. While Bowen boards a plane carrying foreigners out of the conflict zone, the two men walk out of the camp. The men reach the mining camp in a river valley, after exhausting overnight trek, which is still under RUF control, where Solomon discovered and buried the large diamond. Dia, Solomon's son, refuses to acknowledge him, because he has been brainwashed by the rebels, and is painfully reunited with him here. Solomon is also reunited with Captain Poison, who gives him the order to find the diamond. However, the South African mercenary force also wants the diamond, so it dispatches the RUF rebels in a huge airstrike that kills many of the rebels, and some of the miners. Solomon uses a shovel to kill Poison, as he becomes temporarily insane. In the midst of the chaos, Solomon is compelled to retrieve the stone by Colonel Coetzee, who makes a deal with Archer. After realizing that they would have killed both Solomon and Archer if they had found the diamond, Archer kills Coetzee and the two other soldiers, who were fighting with him in a desperate battle. Dia holds Archer and Solomon hostage with a gun at this point, but Solomon manages to persuade him to side with them. Archer discovers he has been shot, as he flips a body over to get equipment, but he keeps it to himself. He radios to the pilot Benjamin Coppene, who demands that Archer dump Solomon and Dia, as he has made arrangements ahead of time for a plane to pick him up. The group moves slowly in pain out of the valley, toward an airstrip on top of a nearby ridge. Solomon carries Archer for a short distance, before Archer orders Solomon to put him down, and after that, he collapses, and is unable to climb. Knowing that he is dying, he tells Solomon to go home, and gives them the diamond. While Solomon and Dia flee, Archer holds off the soldiers who are after them. He then makes one last phone call to Bowen, asking her to help Solomon as a last favor. He then looks out over Africa's stunning landscape, and dies peacefully. Solomon trades the diamond to Simmons, with the help of Bowen, in exchange for a significant sum of money, and the reunification of his family. He does this as Solomon's family deplanes from a Learjet at a London airport. Later, Bowen publishes a magazine article exposing the trade in conflict, or blood diamonds, which she secretly photographed. Solomon smiles at the photo Maddie took of Archer earlier, which is now published in her magazine, along with the entire story of their journey, before speaking at a conference on blood diamonds in Kimberley, South Africa. This is a reference to a real meeting that took place in Kimberley in 2000, and resulted in the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme, which aims to stop the trade in blood diamonds by certifying the origin of diamonds.